Welcome students to the first module of chapter number 3, Current Electricity. In this module, we will be learning potential and potential difference, electric current and resistance and Ohm's law. Electricity is one of the most important blessings that science has given to mankind. It has also become a part of modern life and one cannot think of a world without it. Electricity has many uses in our day-to-day life. It is used for lighting rooms, working fans, and domestic appliances. All these provide comfort to people. In factories, large machines were worked with the help of electricity. Essential items like food, cloth, paper, and many other things are the product of electricity. Electricity also provides means of amusement, radio, television, and cinema, which are the most popular forms of entertainment, are the result of electricity. We all know that for the generation of electricity, water is released from a dam at a higher level, and because of gravity, it falls to a lower level. Thus, as we all know, the direction of flow of water between 2 points depends on the level of the 2 points. Now let us see one activity. For this, we need two plastic tanks, rubber tube and water. Now set up the apparatus as shown in figure 1. Now as you can see, there is a difference in level of water in tank A and B. So what happens when the tap is open? Yes, when the tap is open, water starts flowing from tank A to tank B. That is from a higher level to a lower level. And when does the water stop flowing? The water flow stops when the level of water in the two tanks becomes equal as shown in figure 2. This happens because there is no more pressure difference to cause the flow of water. Just like water, the flow of electric charge between 2 points depends on a kind of electric level at those points. This level is called electric potential. We know that a positive charge flows from a point of higher potential to a point of lower potential. In figure, conductor A is at a higher potential than conductor B. When these two are connected by a conducting wire, a potential difference is created between its two ends, and the electrons, being negatively charged, will flow from point B to point A through the wire. This flow will continue until the two conductors A and B have the same potential, that is until their potential difference becomes 0. So, the difference in potential between the positive and negative terminals of a cell is the potential difference of that cell. The difference in potential between the positive and negative terminals of a cell sets the electron in motion and result in the flow of electricity through a conducting wire connected to the two ends of the cell. The amount of work done to carry a unit positive charge from one point to another is called the electric potential difference between the 2 points. Let us see the formula. Potential difference between 2 points is equal to work upon total charge transferred. That is, V is equal to W upon Q, where V is the potential difference, W is work and Q is total charge transferred. Let us see the units now. The Italian scientist Alessandro Volta constructed the first electric cell. Therefore, the unit of potential difference is named as volt in his honor. Very small values of potential difference are expressed in millivolt and microvolt. 1 millivolt is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 volt and 1 microvolt is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 volt. Large values of potential difference are expressed as kilovolt and megavolt. 1 kilovolt is equal to 10 raised to 3 volt and 1 megavolt is equal to 10 raised to 6 volts. We all know that electricity flows due to the conduction of negatively charged electrons. Every atom of a metallic character has one or more outermost electrons, which are very weakly bound to the nucleus. These are called as free electrons. As shown in the figure, these electrons can easily move from one part of a conductor to its other parts. The negative charge of the electrons also gets transferred as a result of this motion. The free electrons in a conductor are the carriers of negative charge. As shown in figure A, if a conducting wire is not connected to a cell, its free electrons move randomly in all directions in the space between the atoms. When we connect the ends of the wire to the two terminals of a cell, electric force acts on the electrons. Being negatively charged, they start moving from the negative to the positive terminal of the cell as shown in figure B. Due to the flow of these electrons, current starts to flow through the wire. This motion of electrons is irregular, but there is a definite non-zero value to their average velocity. Even though electrons move from negative end to positive end, conventionally the direction of the current flow is taken to be positive of the direction of flow of electrons. That is from the positive end to the negative end of a cell. As we all know, an electric current is the flow of electrons through a conductor. Current is defined as the charge passing through a conductor in unit time. That is, I is equal to Q upon T, where I is the electric current, Q is charge, and T is time. The unit of charge in SI system is Coulomb. Therefore, unit of current is Coulomb per second, which is also called as ampere. The French mathematician and scientist Ampere conducted a number of experiments on electricity. Today, we can measure the current flowing in a conductor only because of his extraordinary work. The unit of current is called ampere in recognition of his great work. 1 ampere current is said to flow in a conductor if 1 coulomb of charge flows through it every second. Therefore, 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per 1 second. The smallest value of current are expressed as milliampere and microampere. 1 milliampere is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 ampere and 1 microampere is equal to 10 raised to minus 6 ampere. The relationship between the current flowing through a wire I and the potential difference across its ends V can be obtained from the law that was given by German scientist George Simon Ohm. The law states that if the physical state of a conductor remains constant, the current I flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference V between its two ends. Physical state of a conductor means its length, area of cross section, temperature, and the material it is made up of. So we write I is directly proportional to V, that is I is equal to kV, where K is the constant of proportionality. I into 1 upon K is equal to V, that is I into R is equal to V, where 1 upon K is equal to R, which is the resistance of the conductor. Hence we get V equal to IR, or R is equal to V upon I, and this is known as Ohm's law. As shown in figure 1, there are large number of free electrons in a conductor. They are constantly in random motion. When a potential difference is applied between the two ends of the conductor, these electrons start moving from one end at the lower potential to the end at higher potential as shown in figure 2. This directional motion of the electrons causes the flow of current. Moving electrons strike the atoms and ions which lie along their path. Such collision causes hindrance to the flow of electrons and oppose the current. This hindrance is called the resistance of the conductor. Let us know some more about resistance. Resistance is a measure of the opposition to current flow in an electric circuit. To understand the meaning of resistance, consider an example of a person in a crowded market struggling to go from one place to another. This situation is certainly similar to an electron trying to make its way through a wire. We have resistance is equal to R is equal to V upon I. We can obtain the units of resistance from the formula. Potential difference and current are measured in volts and amperes respectively. The unit of resistance is called ohm. 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Resistance of 1 ohm is if 1 ampere current flows through a conductor when 1 volt potential difference is applied its ends. Then the resistance of the conductor is 1 ohm. Resistance of an object depends on the size and the shape of that object. It mainly depends on the length of the conductor L, area of cross section A, and the resistance mostly depend on the material it is made up of. The resistance of a wire is higher if it is long. Therefore, we can say resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to its length, and it is lower if the wire is thick. So, we can say resistance is inversely proportional to its area of cross section. We know that resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area of cross section. So we can write R is directly proportional to L upon A. That is R equal to rho L upon A, where rho is the constant of proportionality and rho is called as the resistivity of the material. Resistivity is a specific property of a material and different materials have different resistivity. Resistivity is useful in comparing various materials on the basis of their ability to conduct electric currents. High resistivity designates poor conductors. Resistivity of diamond is 1.62 into 10 raised to 18 ohm meter, which is very high. Therefore, diamond do not conduct electricity. Resistivity of nichrome is 1.1 into 10 raised to minus 6 ohm meter, and resistivity of copper is 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter. Copper has a lower resistivity and is a better conductor of electricity. The unit of resistivity in SI system is ohm meter.